Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. So, kind of doing a video mashup here, just a little bit. I'm going to do the review of the QuadCon. Oh, my head's crooked. There we go. Look like one of the little rascals there. Review of the QuadCon up in Sioux Falls, which was just last weekend. And I also did some shopping around town before the show. Cam and I went and drove around to a few different places and just had fun, see what we could find. So the show review, I'll start out with that. QuadCon Sioux Falls, second year. It's at the Ramkota Convention Center, kind of the northwest part of Sioux Falls there. Nice little facility. Just a square old building to have events in. And it works great. It's a great facility. No problems with it at all. Had a good time. I thought we had a good turnout. It was a little bit lower than the first year, last year in 2024, but it was very steady all day. Sales were very mediocre to low end. I think that's probably a product of the current economy, would be my guess, because we did have a lot of visitors, just not a lot of folks carrying out packages. A lot of young kids, families were just, I think, out for the day and enjoying the show and seeing the sights, and certainly nothing wrong with that. Didn't get a lot. We're not a lot of vintage dealers, comic dealers there. So, to me, that's kind of all I get into, and even then it's pretty limited. So I did a little shopping, but did not get a whole lot at the show itself. A lot of action figures, a lot of, Pokemon cards, some modern comics were in there. Just kind of a mix of a lot of different stuff. There's some board gaming dealers there. Did not see a lot of Lego stuff. Did not see, there's Funko Pop stuff there, but not in the huge quantities that I see in a lot of places. Not a lot of graded cards or comics. They were there, but a lot more raw stuff. So I didn't see a huge amount of third-party graded anything. Lots of trade paperbacks for modern stuff. Lots of variant covers for modern stuff. Lots of new in-the-box toys, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, from the last, I'd say since COVID, or newer era, so the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years. So there's a lot of that there. It was a really good product mix, I thought. So, if you weren't into one specific thing, I don't know. I mean, if there wasn't anything at that show you weren't interested in, I really don't know. I really don't know what we could have brought in there any different. So they did a pretty good job on the product mix. I don't know. It's currently tentatively slated to be the day before Easter again in 2026. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind 100% if I'm going to set up. It's a really, really tough weekend for me. I missed Monday, Thursday, I missed Good Friday. I got back in the middle of the night so I could get to church on Easter, and I was just so worn out. I did not get up in time. I did watch the service on live broadcast on TV, the late service, but boy, I tell you what, it's I'm sitting here. It's Tuesday, and I'm still worn out from that. So those one-day shows when I have to travel and come back, and it's a short time frame. I'm just getting that age. I don't know. It's doesn't entice me much anymore like it used to. If I'm going to go to all that trouble, I prefer to do a 2-day show or 2.5 day if it starts on Friday. That kind of thing. Because you actually get a little rest. As weird as that sounds, you don't have to unload in the night, go to the show for 12, 14 hours. Pack up and then drive 4.5 hours home. Makes for a very condensed time frame to do a lot of heavy lifting and driving and things. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. My next show is actually not until Memorial Day, Dickinson County Fairgrounds in Spirit Lake, Iowa. And again, if you've seen me there, I moved from the sheep barn to way on the east end in the expo building. Because again, I like indoor plumbing and air conditioning. So I'm really looking forward to that. So come see me there. Stuff I bought. So I'm going to show you what I bought at QuadCon. I bought a few other things, but this is the main piece that I thought you guys would be interested in. I bought a few $2 reader Bronze Age books, mainly for me. So nothing too exciting. But I did get a Weird Terrors one. This is from John Wells. He's the promoter of the show, founder of QuadCon. He gets a lot of interesting stuff in because, when you do, 30 plus shows a year, people bring you stuff, you see stuff. Weird Terror #1. It is low grade, but that darn black cover makes it really tough. It's got a few nicks. I'm going to take it out very carefully here, and stuff so you can see it maybe a little bit better. That's probably a little too close. There we go on it. So it's not high grade, probably 2.5, maybe a 3 on a really good day, but I'm very pleased with it. One, it's a #1. Two, he treated me really well. $350 for a #1. And let me check the year. I think it's 52, September of 52. Has just a little bit. I'm going to try and do this real careful. Cover and centerfold are both attached. You can see it's got some tanning on the edges, which is pretty typical, especially for the independent publishers. Page quality, again, I got to be a little careful here. Page quality is actually pretty good. A little bit of tanning on the edges, but a lot of times these pages get really dark, and the edges are like grocery bag brown. That's what I was trying to say there. So honestly, even though it's lower grade, it's going in my collection. It's just something I don't see, and being a #1 is pretty good. It's got a Don Heck cover. He's probably more known for drawing, I would say, Iron Man, early, Silver Age Iron Man stuff. He's not really known as a horror artist, I guess I would say, but he did a lot of stuff back in the day before he hooked on with Atlas Marvel. And that was one of them. So Weird Terrors 1, very happy about that. So I was really, really super happy to get that book. So here's a stack. I think I got $130-ish into it. Picked these up at 605 Antique Mall. It's on the west side, just off the interstate, in the south. I guess it'd be the southwest corner of Sioux Falls, more or less. One of the first exits once you get north of T, South Dakota. And they have a ton of stuff. You got to dig. It is not neat and tidy. In fact, Cam and I, we were there about 3.5 hours, and man, by the time we got back to the hotel, we were like coughing and yakking. It was just very, very dusty. It's not really grimy, just cluttered. Lots of stuff in there. Probably have 4 or 5 booths with. Boy, I'm just guessing. There's probably 50 to 60 long boxes at least in the booths, and then there's a little bit of better stuff in the locked cases. Not a ton, but it's there. We dug through it. Well, I dug through the comics. Cam was looking at Pokemon stuff, and I did not come up with a lot. Most of this is just kind of. Well, you'll see. I'll just go through it. So it's nothing killer. I didn't get any screaming deals. I'm probably not gonna be able to flip this for much of anything. But I did pick up some stuff that I thought was kind of interesting. You all know my love of innovation books, and that's Lost in Space #1. Not a rare book, but I think it was like $1.50 or $2 or something like that. Really good condition. VF, corners a little rounded. I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for the innovation books, right? And that was one of them. So that was the big thing there. Here's one I don't see. It is a common book. It's not worth a ton. I'm going to take this out. So it's really well. So what it was is. They had a Wizard Zero Dark Victory Batman Wizard promo book, and on the back they had that. It's an innovation masks. Oh my gosh, boy, they used. There we go. I didn't really care about the Batman promo because I've got a ton of those. They did have a lot of these. Innovation, this particular issue, most of them were not great. They were, and this one isn't mint either. But who this is? That's Olivia. Olivia de Berardinis. She lives on the East Coast. As far as I know, she's still active. She had a website up here late last year in 2024, so hopefully she's still around. And this is a cover. It's one of the Good Girl covers by her. Her stuff is really popular. Her heavy metal books, calendars, catalogs. Don't think... I was just looking to flipping through it, which I didn't do. No, I don't see any pinup. Sometimes there's a pinup inside. I've never really had this book myself. It doesn't book anything. Couple, $3, $4, maybe $5 on eBay. But if I can get high grade ones for I think $4 or $5, I got, and I think I've got 2. Yeah, I'll have to. There's another one coming up. So this was pretty common at one of the booths. So Innovation, it's Dark Shadows, my all-time favorite. Well, I don't really watch soap operas, but it's a soap opera. Let's be honest what it is. But I really am a huge fan of the original Dark Shadows TV show. And I've got all these. I don't see them a lot. These are again pretty nice, VF to VF near mint. And I just picked them up because that's what they were. Here's Lost in Space. And again, Forbidden Planet. What was on here? $6, so $3 a piece. I got a little bit of a discount, but that was probably about right. Probably about $3. Forbidden Planet, especially #1 with the robot, that does sell. They did not have one, at least I didn't find it there. And there's a Dark Shadows 1. And then we have a Dark Shadows, is it 4? Yeah, 4. So, I don't know. This followed the 90s mini-series that came out on that. This I was very happy to get. So this booth, this is a different vendor than the ones I just showed you. So this vendor had 40% off. And I don't know, it was pretty picked over, but I was surprised to see this, and this is going to be for resale. And I didn't realize this at the time when I was gone for the QuadCon Sioux Falls. I got back and I sold a whole bunch of Aliens and Aliens Predator set at my Antique Mall booth at the Brass Armadillo here in Des Moines. So I got back and I sold like 10 sets, 8 or 10 complete sets, and I didn't know that. But I usually pick this up anyway, and so I'm glad I did. It's Aliens, which one is that? Music of the Spears. And it is a set. This thing is taped up 20 ways from Sunday. So I didn't take it apart. I have to do that. I'm really hoping that the interior books look like the outside too, so I can get something. But it was 40% off. So was that $12-ish, roughly. More than I usually pay, but I just don't see them, and I seem to have a high demand. That was 15 Aliens Alchemy 1 through 3. So there's another book in there. I just got to take it apart, and again, that was what, $8 or so. So I was happy with that. And these are not. So this is the thing when I said nothing's organized. Everything's jumping, so we're going to probably see some more of these titles pop up, and that's how I found them. They were not all grouped together. They were not in a box. Whatever's labeled on the box was not what was in the box 90% of the time. I did find these, again, 40% off. Muppet Babies, not as good as the Muppets itself, but again, it's a title I don't see a lot. Mid-90s Harvey title. And I tell you what, there's just too many fans. Here's another. Well, here's 2 more. I'll just hold them up. Here's 2 more number 5s. So even though they're duplicates, I just grab them because they're pretty good sellers at the flea markets. Not going to make a ton on them. I think I usually put $10 on them if they're in that fine to very fine range. Might get a little more if it's a true near mint, but I don't see those. But it's something to have on my wall because there is demand for customers, so it's something I was out of. Here's one, Chad. I don't know if you want this, buddy. You got to let me know. You probably have this one, but this is a really nice copy. And usually I see them and they're pretty beat up. I mean, I wouldn't grade this one, but it's a lot cleaner than I usually see. And that's from the 90s TV show, Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina #2. And they usually had a photo cover and an art cover, and the photo covers are very collectible. Nobody even cares about the art covers for the most part. So, but there you go. So, Chad, there you go. Let me know. Let me know. You got to tell me. Here's another one. Yep, I got to look at the vendor number. Muppet Show comic book. This is a newer book. I don't see them a lot. Depending on the cover, they're kind of range from popular to nobody cares, and this could very well be a nobody cares cover, to be honest with you. But I picked it up. I just don't see them, and when I do, they're terrible shape. Here's another one. I've got this. Well, I think I've got it for my collection. I'm not sure, but it's a Jughead one, but it's got a Sabrina cover on it. So it's pretty neat cover. Not a the print runs on these were not super huge, and there were variants. This isn't one of them, but I thought it was a really cool cover. Very modern Archie era book, and I really liked what they did with it. You know, they weren't the golly gee whiz gosh darn whatever. They were a little more I guess grown up or modernized or whatever. So I like that. Here's another. It's a 2-book set, Aliens Havoc. It's not one I've had in for quite a while actually. So it's only 2 pieces, but kind of like Newt's Tale. I just don't see him. Now, this isn't square bound like the Newt's Tale 2-part book, but it's another set I just don't see a lot. And I haven't had that particular set in for a while. So I thought, well, pick that up. Here's one that's for me. It's actually an upgrade. I bought it about 5 times as a kid over the years. And that's the original Swamp Thing saga. It's a reprint book. From the early 70s. This came out, was it 80? I'm trying to remember, 81, 82. Let me look here. I can't remember anymore. So I bought it when I was probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old. 79 maybe. 78. So it's a little older than I thought. So I was about 9 years old when this came out. And this was my first introduction to the Swamp Thing character. I wasn't old enough to buy the originals. I didn't. I probably saw them. I just didn't care, on that. And you can see the original cover here and things, and killer back cover on that. Most of this cover art on the Swamp Thing, Bernie Wrightson, and I really like the original series. It took me a long time to find a nice one, but Batman appears in one of the issues, and as far as I know, that's the only Batman Bernie did. Now, he might have had something like a Brave and the Bold or done a couple pages in a filler story. I don't know. But he didn't do a lot of superhero stuff. And so, I've always kind of had a fondness. And that's actually a solid find. So I like that book. Here's one again for me. It's a low number. I don't have it. Grim Fairy Tales. These early Zenoscope books. Boy, I gotta tell you, they're hard. They're hard to get. And they do tend to be a little rough on the edges. I don't know. I'm guessing this is a cover. They had variants. I don't know if they had quite as many variants back in the day, but I did get a Grim Tales 5. I don't have a 1. That might be my only issue below 10 in that title, in the Grim Fairy Tales. I don't know, but I'm thinking it probably is. This is one I've got. Actually, this is a really good title. Even other dealers have kind of given me a hard time. Not a lot of them, because the old guys like me know. But they're like, why do you buy this stuff? Sugar and Spike. It's a Halloween cover. It's a very collectible title. This is number 43. It's 12 center. I'm going to look at the year. I can't remember it. But any Halloween covers really appeal to, I'll say, non-comic collectors. So flea markets are a really good place. My antique malls are a really good place for this. 1962. Nice pages. Probably not quite white. They didn't cut out the dolls. So paper doll collectors used to I don't see them much anymore, but Katie Keene and the ones comics with the paper dolls used to be quite valuable, and that I don't think is quite a thing like it used to be. But this is actually, probably a VG Plus book, and that's really cool for having a Halloween cover on it, because those always sell. And that's one of those books. This is one of those books where if it guides for $5 or $10, I got to tell you, I'll at least double it. Because of the Halloween subject matter. It won't go to a comic person. I don't care, right? So here we go. Here's another Terminator Endgame set 1 through 3. I think I've actually got a couple of these now, but I always buy them when they turn up, because they turn up in batches, and I won't see them for months at a time. And then somebody was a collector, obviously, and bought them all. And then I'll get a batch of them in. But it can be a long time, so I picked that up. $10 was at $3 a book, $3.33. I think I got a little discount, so again, $3 a book. Wacky Races. So the cartoon books, which I've talked about this a lot. Okay, I think cartoon books, especially among dealers and comic collectors, are very poo-pooed and should not be. These Hanna-Barbera based comics. Is this one? Yeah, that's what I thought. Number 1, 1969. Oh, dumb thing's as old as I am. They sell. They sell really, really, really well. Anything cartoon based. You can think Boomerang. You can think, well, that's not around anymore. But any of the old, retro channels that run the animation made this stuff very popular. It never fell away totally. But I have seen a renaissance over the last probably 10 years or so, and that's one of those books. That's a good book. Not high grade, but it doesn't matter because they're hard to find. Here's one with a little better cover on it. Boom Kids. The early Boom stuff, I don't see a lot of it, especially certain titles, and this is one of them that just does not turn up a lot. Not the best cover art, in my opinion. But they are popular because there's just not a lot of stuff out there. So Muppet Show fans do pick those up. Not a lot, but that's a better cover than the other one. So here's, I think I had some more. No, see, these are so messed up, out of order. Dark Horse, this one's for me. I don't know why. I didn't pick them up when they came out, and then the ones I did get later were beat up. But here's a couple of really nice copies. Indiana Jones, Spear of Destiny 2 and 3. And really nice high-grade copies. $5, let's see, so probably about $3 and, again, 20-30 somewhere in there. I thought at first it was Dave Dorman art, and it was not. Hugh Fleming, I believe. Yeah, Hugh Fleming. I don't know. I never heard of him, but I really like those covers, so I'm keeping those. I got a lot of that early indie stuff to go yet. I've got the Marvel stuff, and some of the Dark Horse, but I'm still missing a lot of Dark Horse. Indiana Jones, so I'm trying to pick those up if they're reasonable. Muppet Peter Pan. Okay, actually has a pretty good cover. That's probably the best cover on the Muppet Show stuff I've seen so far. And I turn around and say that, and then I've got a Muppet Show horror book with mummies in it. Not super scary or anything. But none of the Muppets are really on there. You got a couple in the... you got Sam and Kermit in the background, and then you got the hecklers as the mummies, which is kind of clever. But again, the art style... this is the kind of art style for the Boom Muppet books that sell. This art style doesn't sell as well, but it's still Muppets, and I didn't have any. Did I really get these? I wonder if Cam got these. I have no idea. Well, what the heck? What am I doing with these books? Huh. Well, I'll show them to you. I didn't even know I had them. Those must have got mixed up because I have no idea why I did that. I've got some Daredevil, Marvel Knights, which I don't think was a great series at all, to be flat out honest with you. And I'm just looking here. I don't know how these got mixed in with my stuff. I must have just not been paying attention. I have no idea why I would buy them, and I have no idea why too many people would buy them either. So I don't know what I did there. That's totally bonkers. That's on me. That was a waste of money for me. Here we go. Here's another Indiana Jones Spear of Destiny 4. Remember, these are all split up. They were not together. Another great cover on that. And I don't know, number 1 might be in here. So this was an interesting book. And I was really surprised to see that this was still available. Usually I can't touch these with a 10-foot pole, let alone on sale. But I got Elvira's House of Mystery number 6. Yeah, number 6 on that. Not the best cover in the run by any stretch, but still, the Elvira books, they just sell, man. Mike, if you need that one like you needed the other one, let me know. It's number 6, probably a fine, I would say. Not a VF, but a fine, you know. So, not a perfect book, but definitely very presentable. So here we go, and this is in Mylar, which that has me stumped too. I think it's a nice book, but I don't notice how I dropped these all in Mylar. That's another innovation. We got Lost in Space. That's a cover I don't see a lot. Here's a cover I do see a lot, but does sell on occasion. I'm sure you can see why, especially after my comic cover podcast. Here's another one, another Lost in Space. So happy with those. Well, what in the world are these doing in here? Well, my last 2 books, boy, I don't know what happened. That is really, really bizarre. So I've got, maybe Cam threw those in. I wonder if he did. Because Cam, my son is a Daredevil fan, and I don't know if he's ever read them. So I'm betting he threw those in my stack, and old Dad paid for the stack. That's kind of what I'm thinking on that. But here we go. I got two more Daredevil issues for. I don't know why. I don't know. I'll have to check with Cam and just see what's going on there. So that was it. That's the Sioux Falls QuadCon review, and that's what I picked up. The Weird Terror. That's the one I'm happy with. That's the one I like. Obviously that pre-code horror book. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have an eBay video coming up about the new eBay user agreement. I'm going to be shooting that. After I mow the lawn. I got to mow the lawn first, so I'll do that first. But check out my other videos, guys, and thanks for watching.